Okay, half of this whole dating problem isn't because the women are choosing thugs or because the men are not choosing the right women and they're going after hood queens and all this other stuff. The problem is we're not choosing people who have a sense of direction. Okay? Oftentimes, I'll get frustrated with the women in Southern California, not because, they're quote unquote hood queens. I'm not even around those women to begin with. We're separated economically and partially on a geographic level. So I don't even come in contact with those women to begin with. But who I am in contact with are women who don't have a level of direction, right? They don't understand where they need to be. So it's about living for today, but also living for tomorrow. So when I look at, the women who get caught up, okay, because I got a message, let me say this, and I was just talking to my boy about it, but I got a message, and this lady was talking about how she's still having issues with black men, but she doesn't date thugs. And my response to her is, well, you're probably choosing men who don't have a level of direction, because oftentimes there will be good men out there who aren't necessarily selling drugs or, wilding out or have baby mamas, but they're stagnant and they're not accounting for the fact that as you get older, your cost of living may increase, okay, and your responsibilities just as a human being will increase because you're looking out for yourself. You may have some family issues. You may have some girlfriend-wife issues, and you may have some children-related issues. So you have to account for the fact that you want more. See, oftentimes we are content with our lives, especially with blacks. We're content, right, if we have our affairs together when we're at 21, 22. Okay? But we don't account for the fact that we're going to want new and better things as we get older. And that will cost more, and you're going to need to grow, of course, financially and spiritually as well. Okay? And so the women are caught up because they're choosing dudes, and these dudes aren't doing anything, like I said, they don't show any visible signs that something is wrong. Oftentimes they'll be okay, pretty decent dudes. To be honest, there won't be anything glaringly wrong with them. But these women will get frustrated because as they age, they want more. But that dude never had a level of direction to begin with. And the same goes for the men as well. Okay? There are decent women in Southern California, like I said, who at first glance there's nothing wrong with them. That's why I still get a lot of dudes who want to come on and say that, most of my problem is because I'm not getting any. And I laugh. But I understand where they're coming from. But what they're doing is they're just looking at a woman and they're saying, oh, she's cute, she has no kids, she's young, what's wrong? But if you look at these women sometimes and you ask yourself, where are you trying to be in 5 or 10 years? They won't have an answer. And even if they do, they have no plan. They're not moving towards anything. It's just the whole idea of meeting somebody and they have big dreams, right? I want to own my own company. But you ask them, well, what are your steps? How are you going to get there? And they don't have anything to tell you, right? That's what you get a lot of. You get a lot of women who want it all, right? They know, I want, the American dream, the nice suburb house, the 3.5 kids, the dog. I'm driving a 3 Series and he's driving a 5 Series and whatnot. They know that's what they want. Okay? They want to go to church on Sundays and come home and have a Sunday brunch. But they don't have a vision of how to get there. And oftentimes they feel like it's purely up to the man to carry them there. And I even see this with some of the, educated women as well. Because it's not just about money. A lot of times the women and men feel if they have money, that means they have a sense of direction. But if you're not there spiritually, okay, if you don't have a spiritual sense of direction, and if you can't forecast what you're going to need in the future, you don't have direction to me. You don't. And that's the issue. So once again, I can't speak for everybody, but as far as I see it, come from Southern California, the problem and the frustration that a lot of men like myself have, and with some of the women, is that we're not choosing people who have direction, okay? And we're choosing people, like I said before, who aren't thugs and, hood queens. So there's nothing, overtly apparent in terms of, do you see something wrong here? And oftentimes, these people are holding it down, I guess, for where they are at that point in life. Okay, so they may have a steady part-time job or, the decent job, doing well, but you have to want more. What is your level of direction? I remember when I first graduated, and I went to college. I was living rough, and I always used to run into some of my boys who didn't go to school. They just worked. So, they're at Best Buy working like 30 hours a week. They had the rims, the nice cars, and the clothes. And it worked. You're 18, 19, 20, it worked for you. And these dudes were doing nothing wrong. But what they didn't have was foresight. They didn't understand that you hit 24, 25, 26, 27, you're going to want more, right? Financially, spiritually, and the women that are around you are going to want more. Okay? And the same women that chose these men, right, are upset as well because they want more, but the men didn't have direction and the women themselves didn't have direction. So, in closing, we have to make sure we separate the two issues, okay? It's a separate issue when we talk about women choosing thugs and men choosing hood queens, okay? And the whole idea of us not choosing people with a sense of direction is a whole other different issue. Because that issue isn't blatant. It's not in your face. I'm not going to look at you guys walking down the street and question, why is she with that dude? Or why is he with her? Look at him. His pants are sagging. You're not going to see it. You have to dig deep. And as you know, when we deal with black relationships, we don't like to dig deep. We like to be very surfacey and very vain. But we're not going to build anything unless we really get to the root of a lot of these issues. So tell me how you feel. You guys take it easy. God bless.